So I dropped the anchor over there with a few other boats, and now we're gonna head into customs and figure out the check-in. All right, just got through my first phase of checking into Ireland. I'm gonna go find the, I guess immigrations is out on vacation, so I'm gonna go to the police station and try to get a stamp. So today I'm at the Cork airport. Luckily I found a real nice viewer. Barry offered to drive me over here. And I had to come to get my passport stamped because the local immigrations officer was on holiday. So a little bit of a trek over here, but we got the passport stamp, so that should make it, hopefully the next place I arrive I don't have any issues. So I'm gonna try to find a SIM card for my phone because my Google Fi wireless doesn't work, and the one I got back in Portugal isn't working here either. So it needs me to get some type of internet connection so I can keep posting those videos for y'all. Before I left the US, I decided to switch my mobile service from Visible, which I loved, and it gave me like unlimited data for really cheap. It works super good. I switched over to Google Fi because I needed an international, and Visible didn't have that. But I've been super bummed out about Google Fi. It's just garbage service. They're unlimited, cuts you off at 20 gigabytes, which is like hardly any at all for me. I mean, like 2 videos uses that much data. And some countries it hasn't been working for me at all. So what I've been doing is just buying local SIM cards. Like in Ireland, I got the An Post. They're the SIM cards they sell at the local post offices here, and that's been way better. I did the same thing in the Azores. It's like $15 for a SIM card, and I think I got 100 gigabytes of data in the Azores, and I get 50 for a SIM card here. I'm on my second SIM card here. I have to use a lot of gigabytes to do these videos. But if anybody has any other recommendations, let me know. I'm trying to use up this fish. I've got a whole lot. I think I'm gonna give some to my neighbor over here. Right now I'm making a fish curry. I'm doing some potatoes in there too. It should be pretty good. So finally a sunny day. We're gonna go take a walk around this fort over here. It's called James Fort. James Fort, built in 1694. Door. Has a pretty solid door. Built by the English, keep those Spanish out. Keep them out. Tunnels and stairs and stuff. On the water. There's Kinsale over there. So I just got back to the boat and I realized we have dragged anchor and we're right in the middle of the mooring field now. And I'm feeling super guilty because the boat that was moored right here is now gone. So hopefully I wasn't bumping up against them, and at least they were able to move the boat if I was. I don't see any scrapes or anything, so I don't think I did any damage, hopefully. But I'm gonna get out. I think this means I do need to get out my bigger anchor finally, and I'll go re-anchor a little further out there. Whoops. This anchor is stored here for the passage. Okay, I just reset the anchor. Now we are a safer distance from these boats. Still not a whole lot of room to drag anchor. The problem is we had the tides coming in here as much as maybe 2 knots, and then we had some pretty strong wind. I think it was the wind did it this time. They had a heck of a time pulling up the first anchor, the smaller anchor. I want to pull that up and put the bigger one down. I'm actually in the process. I was trying to pull it up from the stern because I had a stern anchor set out. It was just good. The anchor was stuck on the bottom. I couldn't pull it up, so I thought, well, maybe I'll bring the line to the front and try to pull it up from the front, so then I could use the windlass, or just have a better position to pull it up from. The boat kind of tends to go on the beam when I'm using this winch back here. And then what happened was a gust came through just as I was trying to transfer the line forward, and the line started slipping. So I just kind of panicked and cleated it off, and of course it was all over the railing, and it just bent that thing like it was nothing. So there's a lot of forces involved in anchoring sometimes. These railings are pretty thin wall, though. They're not very impressive, so I'm not really surprised. I need to find a better solution back here, honestly. That's kind of a bummer. I think I'll probably just straighten it out. And if that wasn't stressful enough, just as I was getting the anchor free, it was so odd. Like it was stuck, and so I would just, trying to winch it in, and I couldn't get the anchor up, but we were also dragging kind of at the same time. It was like digging in and then skipping, and basically we were drifting into the shore backwards as I was trying to pull the anchor up, and I wasn't able to get it up quick enough. We just didn't have time, so I decided I needed to let the anchor go. Fortunately, I had two big fenders back here, and I was able to get the anchor out of the locker. I mean, it was lucky the thing came loose. I think in the future, when I'm doing any anchoring situations, I'm gonna keep a knife handy. But luckily I was able to pull all the road out of the locker, tie it up to a fender. Probably the slowest bow line I've ever tied. Tie that fender to the anchor road and then toss it over. So our anchor is over there, that orange buoy right there. So I just need to dinghy over there and see if I can pull it up. I'll probably have to go swimming, I guess. Okay, situation averted. Got the anchor back on the boat. This dinghy is really not sufficient for pulling up a spare anchor, but actually what I did is I just lifted it off the bottom and I motored it over the boat, and then I pulled it the rest of the way up on the big boat. While I was in Kinsale, I met Robbie, and he took me to Killarney National Park, and we did some hiking and really pretty waterfalls and mountains around there. I think this is Torque Falls, and then this is Torque Mountain. And then we also checked out this old abbey, which looks like it has had a bunch of restoration done. There's a lot of cool spaces to explore around in there. There's a tree in the courtyard. We checked out some castles driving through the countryside. Cow crossing. Whoa, what's inside? Oh, the stairway is awesome. Man, it's really high. On the top of this castle. Man, we're high up. I think this one was my favorite because it was so high. And this one is Charles Fort, which is very impressive sailing in from the water. But when they're in this good of a shape, they're not quite as interesting to explore, especially when there's tourist guides around and stuff. And I also got to visit Cork. The Sovereign Sailing School is letting me use their dock here. Really cool of them. One of the cool things you can do around here is the tides are so high you can draw your boat up by just tying it off to this wall here. That would make it really easy to clean, or you could even repaint the bottom if you were quick enough. I just pulled up the anchor. We're leaving Kinsale Harbor in Ireland. And the winds are pretty light, maybe 7 knots, but we got maybe more like 5 knots, I guess. But we've got a real strong current, probably at least a knot and a half of current, which is just drifting us out into the ocean. And then we'll have a nice upwind passage overnight to get to, I think, in the Baltimore area. I like to look at these little like Fisher 25s. Pretty cute boat. We've got Fort James on the right here. There's Fort Charles over there. So I want to get some drone shots of this this fort here with the sails up. So I just hove the boat too, and it's actually pretty cool because the current is kind of canceling out our drift. So we're just like stopped right in the middle of the channel. Kind of a dick move if there's lots of traffic, but there's not that many boats coming in and out, so I think it's okay. Okay, I hope those shots are worth it. That was pretty challenging to sail while flying the drone, and this little gust came in and started to rain, so I decided to bring it back. But we've got looks like some racing boats coming back in, so we'll kind of stop spinning in circles out here and head on our way. All right, we're gonna do attack now. Sun has set and the wind has lightened up. We are just barely moving. We're maybe doing 1 knot, but that might just be the current. It looks like maybe the wind will start pick up again around 1 a.m. tonight. So I'm just trying to keep the boat moving any way it can, and we'll probably won't cover any miles really until later tonight. So we're tacking our way upwind all night. There's a lighthouse off in the distance there. We've been pretty close to shore all night too, so I am staying awake, sleeping in 10-minute intervals basically, keeping an eye out for ships and rocks and stuff basically. I set several alarms on my phone too whenever the boat is sailing towards land, just in case I sleep through one. Otherwise the boat would just sail into the shore. So we can see land over there. Really gotta be careful for rocks out here. Kind of like Maine. Here's the track we've been sailing. You can see we left from Kinsale and we've been zigging and zagging our way upwind. It looks like maybe 2 more tacks and we'll get into Baltimore in this harbor here. And then also I want to check out this little island over here, Cape Clear Island. And then of course the Fastnet Lighthouse over there eventually. And then we'll just work our way up the west coast. We are coming up on Baltimore Harbor. Wind kind of died on us on the last 5 miles there. Getting close. Looks like a cave in there. That's cool. We set the anchor down in this bay outside of Baltimore Harbor, right outside the mooring fields. And now I'm just gonna finish blowing up the the dinghy and we'll go ashore. Crowded dinghy dock. We squeezed in. This is Baltimore Harbor, and it's an interesting spot because the tidal ranges are so much you actually get rapids as the tide comes in and out into the lake out there. It's Glendora and Union Hall. We're up at Castle Haven Harbor. Very nice views up here. We just got our crab sandwiches at the Bushes. Thanks a lot, Tom. Now, the weather hasn't been great, so I think I'm just gonna head on off to the next stop. So thanks, Tom, for showing me around Baltimore, and then also thanks Robbie, Peter, and Barry for meeting up with me in Kinsale and help me get everything situated. Everybody in Ireland has been super welcoming and helpful. That's generally the case everywhere I've gone, but especially Ireland so far. I know there's a lot of other people that want to meet up. Sorry I haven't been able to respond to everybody who sent me an email. I'm trying my best. Sometimes they slip through, but I really like meeting people as I travel, and it's really cool to meet people at local and see their perspective. In the next video, we'll keep sailing up the west coast of Ireland. We do the Fastnet Rock Lighthouse deal. It's pretty cool, and some other neat spots. Have really fantastic weather lately. On a completely different note, I wanted to mention my friend James from back in California, Newmark's Marina. I knew him. Some of you might follow him on YouTube. He has a sailing channel, and he's currently sailing his Alberg 30 single-handed from Los Angeles to Hawaii. And that's a trip I did a couple years ago, of course, so it's been fun to follow along on his tracker and read his blogs. He writes them pretty frequently. I'll put the link in the description, but he's been having a real rough go of it. The first time his wind vane had a problem, and now his rudder is basically disconnected from the rudder shaft, I believe. So I know I have some followers in Hawaii and who are into sailing, and if anybody out there has a fabrication shop or built capabilities who could help him build a new fiberglass rudder, I think he's looking to have someone who can help him drill some holes in one in stainless strap and bend it for it to reattach the rudder. I'll put the contact if you want to reach out to him. But also I'll have his tracking link. It's really cool, like kind of sitting back and wondering how I would solve these problems and watching how he's figured out how to steer the boat with the drogue. I love the kind of problem solving, and it's nice to not have the stress of actually having to do it myself. Yeah. So give it a follow. I'm a little bit behind on posting my videos. I'm currently in the northern part of Ireland now, and I'm going to sail to Islay, Scotland. I think that's how you say the island, where they have the peaty Scotch. I really like Scotch. I'm very excited to sail there. So if anybody is around there and wants to meet up, let me know. And then next I'll be going through the Caledonian Canal, and it looks like we got pretty nice weather for that. I'll see you guys next time.